for literally like something I did not do. Like it's and it goes back to like people just like attacking Jake Paul and like wanting to see me fail.
It hurts so bad. I'm in the hospital right now. I can't even close my mouth. I keep crying, bro.
Bro, when the World Boxing Association effectively banned Jake Paul, it was the moment the illusion finally died. In just 14 days, the man who once sold the dream of being a champion watched everything he built collapse in front of the world. This is the night his world broke, his future vanished, and nothing would ever be the same again.
6, 7, 8, 9.
December 19th, 2025 didn't feel like just another fight night. The Kaseya Center in Miami was packed with cameras, celebrities, hype, and millions watching online, all waiting to see if Jake Paul's boxing dream was real. Jake walked in with the confidence of a man who truly believed he had become something more than a YouTuber. Across from him stood Anthony Joshua, calm, cold, and completely unbothered by the noise.
That's a bad idea. That's a bad idea.
From the first rounds, something felt off. Jake wasn't controlling the ring or setting the pace, and that confidence started leaking out of his movement. Joshua stayed patient, stalking him like he had all night to finish the job. Even the crowd could feel that the energy had shifted in a dangerous way.
Best shot at the moment. Not that much is going to happen. And it almost... Oh, there's a left hook.
By the middle of the fight, the numbers were already exposing the truth. Joshua had landed 48 punches out of 154, about 33%, while Jake had landed only 16 of 56, around 29%. In boxing, that's the difference between domination and survival. One man was fighting to win, the other was fighting to stay upright.
Thought I would win against Anthony, but here I am with a broken jaw, learning the hard way. I'll heal. I'll be back.
Jake spent most of the fight backing up, covering up, and burning energy fast. He was losing control of the ring and losing control of his own plan. At some point, he stopped chasing victory and started chasing time. That's when the illusion finally broke on live television. Then came round 6, and everything collapsed. The first knockdown shocked the arena and shook Jake's confidence. The second knockdown brought fear, and the third one brought complete collapse. A final right hook from Joshua ended the fight and sent Jake crashing to the canvas. The referee rushed in and waved it off. The noise in the arena vanished, replaced by stunned silence. People knew they had just watched something irreversible. That moment didn't just end a fight, it ended a version of Jake Paul.
Boxing is not a game. Fighting is not something you pick up and mess around with, right? If you're a fighter, if you're a boxer, if you're a mixed martial artist, right, you have to take this seriously and you have to respect the game.
Then the cameras caught him smiling. Fans thought it was bravery or respect, but the truth was far darker. Jake's jaw had fractured in 2 places, and that smile was hiding extreme damage. Inside the medical room, the reality hit fast and hard.
Smile. Smile. Here, it's fine, right? Yeah.
Doctors confirmed the fractures and rushed him into surgery. Titanium plates were installed to hold his jaw together. He couldn't eat normally, struggled to speak, and barely slept during recovery. This wasn't about boxing anymore. It was about healing a broken face.
Look, that guy did great for someone who's been boxing for like less than a decade. He has had no real professional opponents other than Tommy Fury.
That night became the first knockout loss of his career and the second loss overall. His professional record now stood at 12-2 with 7 knockouts. On paper, it looked acceptable, but emotionally and mentally, the damage was far deeper. His confidence, his momentum, and his future all took a brutal hit.
It's showing his lower jaw, that's his mandible, and yes, it looks like it's broken in 2 places, and it's circled in these red circles. You can see this is his jaw. This is supposed to be sort of 2 continuous lines.
The real nightmare arrived just 12 days later. On December 31st, 2025, the World Boxing Association released its update. Jake Paul was officially removed from the cruiserweight rankings. The man who entered at number 14 in July after beating Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. was now completely unranked. That ranking had meant everything. It was Jake's proof that he belonged, his ticket toward a real championship future. Losing it wasn't just a step back, it was being erased. In boxing, unranked means no leverage, no guaranteed path, and no respect from the system.
Best shot at the moment. Not that much is going to happen. And it almost... Oh, there's a left hook.
All of this happened within 16 days. December 19th shattered his body. December 31st erased his status. The sport that once welcomed him suddenly felt very cold, and January was about to make it even worse.
It happened in the 6th round, and it happened in a 22-foot ring. A typical ring is 20 foot. This one was 22 foot because he wanted a bigger room to operate, a bigger space, a bigger ring.
On January 4th, 2026, the Florida Athletic Commission issued Jake an indefinite medical suspension. The jaw fractures were too severe, and doctors refused to set a timeline for his return. Indefinite means the future is no longer in your hands. It means your career now depends on bone, metal, and healing.
Bro, he got hit with a bomb, a right-hand bomb.
Ends at Niche Bomb. In barely 2 weeks, Jake Paul went from ranked contender to medically suspended and unranked fighter. His face was held together by titanium, his dreams were on life support, and his path to a title had vanished. Boxing didn't celebrate him or protect him, it simply moved on, and that's the part that hurts the most.
And look, AJ, he knew what was going to happen before the fight even took place. That's why he was so calm. And that's probably why in the first few rounds when Jake Paul's buzzing around like a fucking little bee, this is going to slow down.
By the time January 4th, 2026 arrived, the sport had seen enough. The Florida Athletic Commission finally stepped in like the strict principal who walks into the classroom after the chaos has already destroyed the furniture. Doctors didn't sugarcoat anything and confirmed that Jake's jaw fractures were severe and dangerous. And just like that, Jake Paul was handed the scariest sentence in boxing, an indefinite medical suspension. Indefinite is not a cute word in this sport. It does not mean take 2 weeks off and come back stronger. It means your career is now owned by X-rays.
Best shot at the moment. Not that much is going to happen. And it almost... Oh, there's a left hook. Oh,
He is stunned. He's not knocked out immediately, but if you look at the displacement of his jaw and the force that was in that punch, that is impressive. Doesn't look very staged to me.
So while fans were still arguing online about the fight, Jake was staring at medical walls and legal paperwork. His jaw was still stitched together with titanium, and the future he thought he owned was suddenly on pause. Boxing does not do sympathy cards, and it does not wait for anyone to heal emotionally. When the suspension hit, the message was simple and brutal. Your body decides your career now. Then reality delivered another punch. Jake's official professional record now stood at 12 wins, 2 losses with 7 knockouts, which on paper looks respectable until you remember what just happened. That loss was his first career knockout, and nothing changes a fighter's identity faster than the first time they are put to sleep on the biggest stage. The second loss shattered all the momentum he had built since July, and there was no spin that could fix it.
Never been better.
Yeah, he's absolutely crushing it.
Bring out the vodka.
Yeah, we're doing great in here. Lights, a double break in his lower jaw.
In July 2025, Jake walked like the future belonged to him. By January 2026, he was learning how fast dreams can expire. The title path he thought was straight ahead had collapsed behind him like a bridge on fire. That emotional weight hits harder than any right hook because it forces a fighter to finally ask a terrifying question. What if this is it? This was the system correcting itself. The WBA decision sent a loud message to celebrity boxing that the sport has limits, and those limits are written in blood and bone. Going from media darling to medical casualty is one of the most humbling journeys in combat sports. 1 month you are everywhere, smiling, selling dreams and pay-per-views. The next month you are unranked, suspended, and waiting for doctors to decide if your body still belongs in the ring. Fame did not protect Jake, and the sport did not slow down for him.
I got the fighter spirit, and that's how I'll go in there and break him down. With my spirit.
Ends at Faw's spirit behind closed doors, the whispers grew louder. This is the end of the Jake Paul experiment. Not a headline, not a rumor, just a feeling that settled into the room. Boxing had finally closed the door, and it did not look like it planned to reopen it anytime soon. So what is left of Jake Paul now? A man with titanium in his face and a future full of question marks. A career that collapsed in just 16 days and left him staring at the ceiling more than the spotlight. The mental toll of falling this hard after flying this high is something no highlight reel prepares you for.
I'm more athletic than every single boxer
in the whole entire sport and stronger than them.
The real battle now is not in the ring, it is in his own head. Does he come back knowing the body might betray him again? Should he even try when the system has already turned its back? Internet confidence is loud, but boxing reality is silent and unforgiving. And then there is the loneliness. The cameras stop calling, the noise fades. The world moves on while you sit with your thoughts and your scars. Falling from the spotlight this fast does something permanent to a fighter's soul. When you line up the timeline, it almost feels unreal. On December 19th, 2025, his career was shattered under the lights. December 31st, 2025, the rankings erased his future. On January 4th, 2026, the suspension locked the door. That is 16 days from dream to disaster. Boxing does not care who you are, who you were, or how many followers you have. This sport only respects survival, and even that is temporary. The myth of Jake Paul as the unstoppable crossover king finally collapsed. All that remained was a broken jaw, a broken dream, and a closed door. And no matter how many times you knock on it, boxing does not open doors for anyone. Jake Paul is done.